So let's get this out of the way. I actually have a disability. Causes a bit of tension when I say that. Little bit of support over there, not bad. Basically, I was born with one hand smaller than the other, and it looks like a monster munch. And I know that's true, right? Because I did that joke last week, and some Americans text me on Instagram the next day, and they said, we had some monster munch after your show. And they're really nice, and they look exactly like your hand. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a birth defect, right? It's a birth defect caused by a lack of oxygen to the fetus when it's in the womb. That's an interesting way to find out your mum's into asphyxiation, isn't it? But whatever she's in. I mean, I hope it was worth it, Mandy. You'd be forgiven for thinking that I must have had quite a hard time at school with a visible disability, but I'm going to tell you something different, right? When I got to school, I realised that to other lads aged 4, this was interesting as fuck. Yeah. You know what I used to do to impress them? Just chase girls around the playground with my hand because I was scared of it. Building on sand though, right? Because when I got to my teen years, all the girls remembered me, right? And I wanted to get a girlfriend, and no one wanted to be fingered by me, I guess is... But it was rough, you know, it was rough. I was having a good time, but like I couldn't use this hand very well. I had to have a little surgery on it and stuff like that. All the fingers were webbed at one point. Seriously. If I'd kept it, I could use it as a cup. I could have gone into Pret and just been like, can I get a double espresso, please? But, you know, I couldn't open doors, I couldn't tie my laces, you know, something big needed to happen. So thankfully, when I was about 11, my parents got a call from this guy in Leeds who fixes things for kids. He was a paediatric surgeon. I don't know where you were going with that. And he said to me, I remember him standing me up, and he said, what we're going to do, Richard, is we're going to remove these 2 fingers that you can't use very well. And I was like, cool, how's that going to help? And he said, we are going to replace them. And I said, with what? And he said, the second biggest toe on each foot. What the fuck are you talking about? And we went with it, and that's toes on my hand. What a time to be alive, London. When I play football, I could just pick it up and run around. And every single girl I've ever slept with has been toed in the hole. Now, hey, it's nice we can talk about these things and open up. I used to be terrible at open. I mean, as a straight man, I rarely talk about my feelings unless there's like personal gain. If someone asks me about my feelings, I immediately bloke up. Like, someone asks me how I'm doing and it's not going well, I immediately turn into the football manager, Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche, if you don't know him, he sounds like a griddle pan, right? Someone will ask me how I am and I'll be like, I'm just taking it day by day, man. Depression's come in with a good game plan, and its use of anxiety down the wings has been fantastic. It's just up to me to go away, get some wins under my belt, come back in May and try and do better next. That's how I talk about my mental health. So, ladies in the room, give me a cheer. I'm so jealous of you because you guys can talk, right? You guys talk to your friends and you go public with it. Because I live in Clapham now, right? I know, that's the right reaction, okay? But they've got some nice coffee shops.
They do!
They absolutely do. And I saw this thing in Clapham, which I want to call a sad girl coffee morning. Now, a sad girl coffee morning, right, is where one girl is sad about something and she gets on the group chat and everybody fucking mobilizes. They're like, we are going to bond over this in public. And I saw this, it was in a posh coffee shop, you had to wear leggings to get in. You put mint leaves in the water, you know the type. You know. I was in there, and this sad girl coffee morning was happening. There was just these 3 girls at a table, all just holding hands and crying, and I thought, good for them. Because I would never experience this as a strike. I would never get that level of friendship, ever, right? And one of them was lovely. One of them had brought tarot cards to see what was going to happen next. And I've got no problem with astrology, right? I don't need astrology in my life to tell me which planets are making me sad. Because it's Earth. Crazy thing, right? I was walking through East London and there was like an astrology shop selling healing crystals. And it was called She's Lost Control. That's like the quiet bit that you're not supposed to say out loud, isn't it? That's like having a craft beer shop called He's Having a Divorce! I was watching these three girls, right, and the original one, who was in the middle, she'd summoned them, right, and she was crying away. I wouldn't call them witches, but they did have tarot cards, right, just... And she was crying away, and she was like, I was listening, and she said, well, I've been seeing this guy for like 4 months, and I thought it was going really well. But the other night, he told me that he doesn't think we've got compatible personalities, and we don't have a long-term future, and he said that instead of dragging it out over a long period of time and leading me on, he just wanted to put a boundary in place and just end things there and then, and I thought that was healthy. But her best friend heard that and went, fuck that guy, fuck him! She went to war, mate! This guy did things by the book, all right, but like I saw her just go to war, no matter what the consequences, and for a moment I experienced girlhood, and it was beautiful. And then she's like the original girl, she's going, oh, I think it's because he's talked about these commitment issues that he's got and stuff like that. Her friend came up with the best line ever. She went, he hasn't got commitment issues, babe. He's got a tattoo on his face. You can't really argue with that. And then her other friend wants to get involved, right? Her other friend wants to get involved, and she gets up and she does this thing called boss girling or girl bossing. I don't know which way around it is, but I love it. I wish blokes would do it. You say a compliment, which is not situated to anything that's going on, but it takes her mind off things, right? She got up, she put her hand on her shoulder, and she said, babe, you deadlifted 85 kg last week. You don't fucking need him. I'm over here going, what the fuck is the connection? But it worked, right? It worked. They started talking about other stuff, right? Well, there's a guy in leggings staring at us, you know. I'm jealous of this. I'm not patronising. I'm jealous of it, right? Because I had a breakup a couple of years ago. Text my best friend. You know what I got? A fucking gif of Ricky Gervais doing that fucking dance. That's it. That's all I got. 15 years of friendship, Simon. Thank you very much. And then he said, do you want to go down the gym together? Oh, yeah, there we go. Eat way, bruv. That's us. I don't want to go down the gym, Simon. I want to go to a nice patisserie that I've seen on TikTok. I want Darren to come as well, and I want to hold hands, and I want to fucking cry for the first time. I wish I'd said that. I didn't have the balls. I just said, you know, I'm just taking it day by day, man. I felt bad for this girl. She was going to have to go back on the dating scene, and that is hard, right? The apps are very, very upfront and discerning. I'm discerning on them myself, right? I'm no angel. I once swiped left on a girl because her friend looks loud. It was like, oh, she's in 2 of her pictures. No. I was on Hinge once, and this girl really got like straight to the point with me. We were chatting away, and she said, Richard, how big is your penis? Forward, isn't it? I said, well, on the one hand, it's average, but on the other... She really set me up for that one. Yeah. I got time for one more story, right? I did go on a date with a girl a couple of years ago, and it taught me a bit of a lesson, right? Because I was really, really nervous about my hand. I usually don't tell people about it beforehand. It's sort of kind of like hide it, wait for an emotional connection, and then fucking reveal it, like a raffle prize, isn't it? But she started holding my hand like really early on in the day, and I wasn't prepared for it, and I was freaking out, going, shit, she's going to notice, I haven't told her about it, this is going to be really awkward and stuff like that, and I forgot something really important about it. Where they did the surgery, nerve endings aren't very good. So when she's holding my hand, I don't know how hard I'm gripping back. Sometimes I don't know if they're trying to get out. And I'd taken her on a date, which was at night, and it was a walk in the park. So she wanted to brush her hair back, and I just would not let go of this fucking woman's hand. Eventually she spoke up, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I've got this condition with my hand. And she said, I know. And I said, how? And she was like, I Googled you, mate. And first thing that comes up is comedian with small hand. She just wanted to hold my hand at the beginning of the date to let me know that everything's cool. It's nice, isn't it? Never worked out for me and her. She had this mole on her face. It was gross. Must be me!
Come on, Richard Stott, everybody. Come on. Woo! All right. Now we got your brilliant headliner doing some new jokes for you guys.